Hey everyone. If you've got problems, don't panic. Just run forward and check out all that sandy goodness. From her siblings' lessons, Kay learned the art of dodging her dad, like avoiding that distant relative you don't want to talk to. Kay would never disturb her dad. Instead, she explored the lush, green marsh where tiny critters popped up like they were auditioning for a wildlife documentary. One day, she got lost in the marsh and bumped into her helpful sidekick, Tate, who happened to be Judy's buddy. Tate spotted Kay's distress faster than a superhero, ready to save the day. Thanks to the sunny personality of Tate, Kay made it home safe, and that nervous tension just melted away like ice cream on a hot day. The first time, she felt something other than hurt. It was like courage flickered in her heart, and she thought about confronting Dad, and maybe guilt was her new best friend. Surprisingly, Dad wasn't mad. He took Kay to the town shop to buy flour and food from the kindly couple. Japine and Mabel talk about a retail. Mabel knew about Kay's situation, but didn't burst her bubble. Instead, she kindly nudged her to go to school, like some sort of invisible magic. Eventually, Kay actually went to school, but the other kids mocked her for being dirty, like she was rocking some chaotic chic style. That was her only school day, and she thought learning with animals in the wild seemed way more important. For a while, Dad was decent. He took her fishing and even gifted her his backpack when he learned she liked feathers. Now that's some feathered generosity. That day, Kay received a letter from Mom, thrilled as if finding a new toy, but Dad burned it, saying Mom wouldn't return. That night, watched by Kay, Dad burned Mom's belongings. Then he left, less painful than Mom's departure, but still sad. Loneliness crept in like an invisible door, locking her away. After Dad left, Kay faced survival challenges. She didn't know how to live without cornmeal. So every morning, she picked aquatic plants by the marsh and traded them with Japine for food and gas, like a little merchant on a mission. Mabel got wind of Kay's situation and brought her some donations from the church while teaching her simple math. Life went on like an unbroken sitcom. Fast forward to October 1969, two boys found a man's body in the marsh, and after a cop investigation, it turned out to be the town's fancy pants. Kay's death was estimated to be around 2 a.m. His body found under the fire tower with the top open. Police were thinking this was one of those tragic accidents. However, cops found blood and hair on the supports under the fire tower, with forensic indicating a nasty bump to the back of his head. Out. For Kay to bump his head, he must have been upside down, but that theory didn't quite match the scene. Talk about a plot twist. So, it was possible Kay was pushed, but there were no prints or fingerprints on the railing. Even his own fingerprints played hide and seek. But police found red fibers on his jacket, which turned out to be wool, just not from Kay's wardrobe, who borrowed his jacket for a joyride. News of Kay's death spread swiftly, and townsfolk buzzed with talk. Because of the bias against the marsh girl, Kay became the prime suspect, like she stepped straight out of a Detective Conan mystery. The biased cop stormed Kay's place and found a red cap, but Kay was a no-show, like a magician in a disappearing act. Police sent out 2 boats, and when they finally found Kay, she panicked and jumped into the water like she was playing an intense game of hide and seek. A little girl avoiding cops? In the end, she was caught in the water, and Kay was arrested for murder, about to face a courtroom drama. Enter Tom, an old gentleman arriving at the jail, a retired lawyer and one of the few who actually cared about Kay, ready to be her legal superhero. He couldn't fathom that sweet Kay would commit murder, but after years of solitude, Kay just kept mum about Tom's kindness silent as a clam. Before leaving, Tom handed her a sketchbook, which finally won Kay's trust, and she let her defenses down like dropping a shield. She began recounting why her family left and her tragic past, living solo in the marsh since Dad's departure. Come 1962, Kay stumbled upon a feather by a big swamp tree, and she was entranced like she discovered buried treasure. Over time, different feathers and goodies popped up by the tree, along with some notes she couldn't read, but she kept them like souvenirs. One day, she returned to the tree and found a handsome boy. Turns out, he was Tate, leaving her feathers and snacks. Tate knew Kay loved birds and their feathers, so he often came around, and Kay told him she was clueless about reading those notes like a book without pictures. Soon, Tate taught Kay to read. They'd known each other since childhood. Their bond blossomed quickly. Kay loved solitude, but memories of childhood drew her to invite Tate over for some reading fun. Kay's walls were plastered with vibrant animal art that came alive within Kay's world. These artworks seemed to breathe. During this time, Kay's academic skills surged from simple words to sentences, and even complex grammar. Her memory could rival Superman. They zipped through the library's biology books 3 times a week from summer to fall, mastering plant and animal adaptations like time flew by and their connection deepened. Soon enough, Tate's dad caught wind of their bond, an unspoken bond just waiting to go off. They'll bring her books because their family's books are a snooze fest. She can't go to school, the girl has no family. Hey, you don't have to help me. She didn't want her son following her lead, but urged Tate to remember his college dreams like a motivational poster. Ultimately, Kay was charged with first-degree murder, and the victim's family wanted her put to death. What a dramatic turn of events. Tom informed Kay of her option, called a plea deal. If she confessed, she'd get a 10-year sentence. Talk about a moral conundrum. She could be paroled in 6 years. Insisting on trial meant life or freedom, Kay refused the first option. No matter the cost, she wouldn't spend her life in jail. Soon after, the second trial kicked off, and the prosecution brought the heat against Kay. Between midnight and 2 a.m. on October 30, the prosecution claimed Kay pushed Casey from the fire tower and then covered up all the evidence. Talk about a melodrama. The unfolding of this trial felt like an adrenaline-pumping movie. Stay tuned. Remember to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see